Hi, hey, what's up, YouTube? How you doing? It's Joe D. Hey, I'm in that kind of mood. You know what I'm saying? It's Saturday night. It's 10 p.m. here in Phoenix. So, and I know we're at the end of the continental United States timetable here, right? As far as time zones. I know, like for instance, I think the Eastern time zone's 3 hours ahead, so it's like 1 in the morning over there. Hey, head coach, what's up? I just thought we would have like, you know, I don't even know if this could be a thing, but I just thought we'll just have like a casual kind of hangout, just chill, just whatever comes up. You know what I'm saying? We'll just, what's up? No specific beer review, just kind of hanging out. So we'll test this out and see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? I can't promise anything because I just thought, well, since I did that kind of, I don't even know if you can call that a beer review. It's more like a just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But God, that coconut porter was so freaking good. Oh my God. Let me see. So let me post the link in the chat here. Here's a link to join in. Let me post this, and then whoever wants to jump in can jump in live, and we'll see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? If it gets crazy, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I just thought, well, you know what? Maybe there's some other casts that ain't really doing much, and you want to jump in, hang out, talk about freaking whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I figured, I'm in that kind of mood too. So whatever, you know what I'm saying? I was watching Netflix, The Last Kingdom, if you know what that is. If you don't, I mean, it ain't no problem. I mean, there's so many TV series out there right now, so many good series actually. I had stopped that series to watch another series called I think it's called Point of View on Netflix. It's a whole series on photography on Netflix. And I'm all about the photography, so uh, I ordered a huge print, man. I just ordered a huge print, and it's actually going to go above my head here, so you won't ever see it. But uh, the models and so forth, the people that show up with the models and all that sort of thing, will see it. It'll be right here above my head, and it's a pretty impressive. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying, as far as the actual print, but it's like a 60-inch print, man. It should be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Black and white, all artistic and everything. It should be pretty cool, man. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, I like to hang. I don't know about you guys, man, but I think so many people. I'm going to talk photography for a little bit, and I think that so many people take so many photographs with your phones that I pretty much think you could take down everything you have in your house if it's from somebody else, some other photo that you didn't make, and post stuff in your house that you made yourself if you just printed it. If you look around me, all these images I made, everything in my house is something that either I made or someone that I know directly made. That's all I have in my house. Everything that, well, there's some artwork hanging in my house that was gifted to me, and I don't know who made it, but it's literal artwork. It's not a a photo. You know what I'm saying? But if every photo that's hanging in my house, I made right now currently. There's gonna be some photos in the very, very, very near future that I didn't make, that some friends of mine made. So that's kind of the way I roll. Like, I would rather have stuff that I made in my home. You know what I'm saying? And I think, actually, I think everybody could. We all take so many photos with this thing. You know what I'm saying? That why can't you do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, pictures of your kids, family, different little events, trips that you did. little random pictures that you shot. You know, if you filter them in a particular way or change the crop a little bit here and there, it can make nice stock photography. Don't cost you much, and you're like, hey, that's something I made. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a little more interesting. So if someone walks in your home and sees something on the wall that they find interesting, then you're like, yeah, I shot that over here, and you can tell a story with it. And that's the fun part is the story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just something to think about. Now, one of the beers that I was gonna have yesterday for Cinco de Mayo that I ended up not having, but I was thinking about having because it's kind of in that spirit, is this Vario Rojo Scottish ale. That's where the Mexican stops, is the Scottish ale. Right there, the Scottish style ale. But it's from right here in Tucson, Arizona. So I was gonna have this one, and then I thought, you know what? I already had Modelo in the fridge, so I was like, you know what? Let me just have Modelo because it is truly, instead of stretching it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, no, this one, that Modelo is truly Mexican, instead of like trying to come up with some kind of ridiculous stretch. So we had someone in the last video that I was on there. Let me see. Oh, yeah, thanks, man. No, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well right now. So I'm just enjoying my time off, man. It's nice to have a weekend, you know what I'm saying? When you can, or just your normal time off, it is just nice, you know what I'm saying? So this is my normal night off, instead of driving trucks. I do love driving trucks, though. I'm very fortunate to have um, multiple things that I love doing. I love photography. Of course, I love beer and hanging out with you guys and doing these videos and all that sort of thing. And I love driving trucks. You know what I'm saying? It's been a passion of mine since I was a real little boy. You can ask many people that are close to me, and they would have to be pretty close to me to be around me since I was a little kid. But I've pretty much always known what I was going to do my whole life was drive trucks. So I'm pretty fortunate that way. I know it's not maybe a real high goal for us, for some people, but for me, yeah, I just always kind of knew what I was going to do. So it's I consider myself fortunate. You know what I'm saying? To uh, kind of know what I was going to uh, do it, and be able to still make a decent living doing that, right? So it's pretty fortunate, I think. Some people kind of knew what their calling was in life, and that calling happens to keep them broke, and that's, thank God for, people like that too, because some people, they just have sacrificed their whole life to volunteer for this reason or that reason, or they could have took the money way and did something that they really didn't have their heart into, just because it made a lot of money. They were able to do it, but their heart was into something that didn't necessarily make that money, but that's where their heart was at, right? Like head coach. Sometimes some people are just, they could have been, I don't know, in money management or something, you know what I'm saying? Wealth management. And they just, kids touch them, so they stay coaching. I know people like that. They just stay coaching. I know people that love to referee, for Christ's sake. Dear God, I know some cats that are just lifetime referees, man. They don't give a rip. They just love to referee. I do. They love to referee, kids basketball and football games. They just love it. You know what I'm saying? And baseball too. They just love it. So, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your thing is, man. But we can all come together here, have a beer, and talk about our experiences. And that's another thing that I love about this here, what we do right here, this thing that brings us all together, right? So let me crack open this Scottish style amber ale, and this is brewed by Vadio Brewing Company, Tucson, Arizona. Okay, for those of you that don't know, this is I don't know if it has the ABV on the can. I want to say it was somewhere around 5%, though. We'll look it up here in a second. Let me crack it open. We usually get decent smoke at first out of a can, and then it dwindles pretty quick. Yeah, see, that's it goes away quickly, though. It's not like Neary type smoke. You know what I'm saying? Neary's our friend from Holland, but we don't get Neary type smoke out of this, man. But I mean, it starts out really good, but it disappears. Neary just has like this endless smoke. It just lasts forever. It's so cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a living commercial. But this beer here is not quite as dark as it's looking on screen. It's more your typical amber color. Like if you were having an amber ale, it looks just like that. For some reason, it's well, I know why. The light's in the front instead of the back, but it's not translating on camera like it really is. But it's a nice, sweet type of amber ale. Oh man, it's really good though. It's a really nice sessionable beer. Kind of competing with our other craft brewer here, Four Peaks, that makes a Scottish ale. I kind of would right now call this one a little better. Let me share the screen with you really quick, and we'll look up this particular beer. Let's see. So, what is this? Oh yeah. Rojo, Scottish. Right? How am I spelling this right? Come on, Google. You gotta find it. Oh, two T's. That's why. Oh, it's not. Come on, man. Usually Google, man. You type in the first few words of anything, and it starts finding stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So here's Beer Advocate. Yeah, we want the. Here we go. So here's the. Right, I'm saying that right. Rojo. Hey, what's up, Mario? Hey, oh, you're in Arizona too. What's up, man? Where you at in Arizona, man? I'd be real interested. If you're in Phoenix, let me know what part. If you're on the west side, or you're on the east side, or you're on the north side, or south side, let me know, man. So with this beer, we have 4,417 reviews at the time of this posting, and oh, Chandler, right on. So you're way over there on the east side. I'm in the south side. 130 in the last 30 days. 3.52% bottle caps. I'm sorry, 3.52 bottle caps. 6% ABV. So it was a little higher than I thought. I thought it was 5%. So it's 6% ABV. 25 IBUs. And this was a 2015 GABF bronze medal winner, I think, is what they say. Yeah, 2015 bronze medal winner for Scottish style beer. I wonder who won the gold medal that year. I mean, I could look it up, but I'm not that interested in it. It's just kind of. Let me see. Let me check in since I'm right here. You can see I've already had 2 check-ins with this beer. Let me just check in right now. I gave it 3 stars the last 2 times, so I'll just keep that up. So they got my check-in. We'll close that one out. So if I refresh, I should have 3 check-ins now. There we are. I got 3 check-ins, and everything went up one number, if you can tell. Untapped is great about that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So um, that part is cool. Untapped is on it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to wait like that kind of few minute delay or anything like that. Let me see. So, yeah, there ain't too much more information here on this beer. Let's go to their website. Let's check them out. Let's see. Let's give them some serious props here. Oh, okay. As long as you only have to click one of these "I'm over 21" buttons, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to really look into this brewery more. Uh, It looks like they've got some other beers that I might be interested in. This Citrazona. It's oh, are we friends on Untap? Cool. Oh, well, you got to get on there, man. You know, that's what happened with me too, Mario. Is I didn't I when Untap first started, of course, I made an account and logged in, but I wasn't diligent, and so was Mark. If you watch my channel enough, you know Mark is a huge part of what I do. And Mark didn't. He was the same way. He started an account, but we didn't. We both weren't logging all our beers, probably for a couple of years. But now I'm definitely getting more after it. So this Citrusona is this smooth citrus IPA is delicately brewed with hops that lend it a tangerine finish and easy drinkability. Sure to be Arizona's favorite new local IPA. Sounds good to me, man. 6.6% ABV, 68 IBUs. Citrusona, so that must be with I would assume that would be predominantly the Citra hop is what they're using in that, and you know that gives a lot of those citrusy flavors, you know that a lot of us like. Um, Java, let's see, this Mocha Java Stout might be something that I kind of like. I'm definitely I love a good stout, and I love coffee and kind of that chocolatey type of flavor. So that might be something that's right up my alley there. Let's see, brewed with locally roasted espresso and cold steeped with non-sweet cocoa, flaked oats, and milk sugars. And add sweetness, creamy and easy to drink. 5.5% and 28 IBUs. So looks like they got a nice little selection of beers here. Taylor James Raspberry Ale. What is that? Santa Rita Hefeweizen? Yeah, it just spelled different. Nolan's Porter Ale. Some of these look like, yeah, they're not canning them or anything like that. It looks like you have to possibly go down to the brewery and actually get a growler of that beer. You know what I'm saying? So, um, and Tucson's a little bit. I would have to be. I won't go tomorrow. I'll tell you that. But I would, if I were to plan it out a little bit, then I would probably head down there and have some beers. And it's almost what 2 hours away is Tucson, something like that. Uh, yeah, Mario, you got to step your game up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get on Untappd, log those beers on there, man. It's actually great because once you do get, I mean, it's on your phone already. You're on your phone. It's the beer social network is Untappd. That's the way to think about it. And what's great about it is one of these days you're going to want to think of you'll be thinking of a beer, talking to a buddy or whatever the case may be, and you'll be thinking of a beer you had and you're like, man, I can't remember the name of that beer. if you logged it on Untapped, you can get on Untapped really quick and look it up. You know what I'm saying? We've got friends of the show that are well north of 2,000 check-ins on Untapped. So, and as a matter of fact, Mark just said that one of our friends has 23. I think he has 2,300 over 2,300 unique check-ins on Untapped. Unique. That's 2,300 unique beers, my friend. That's a lot of beer. 2,300 unique check-ins, man, on Untapped. Wow, that's crazy. I'll show you my Untapped for reference if you would like it. You know, I don't mind. It's not a you know, it's not a race or anything, you know what I'm saying? But when you see someone else's, you're like, wow, you know. But I have 617, 199 uniques, so you can see I'm well south of that. 200 badges and 130 friends. So I guess these are all the badges I have. Is that what that is right here? Yeah. So these are all the badges I have. And then you can see the ones that I'm still missing. Yeah, Ismail, what's up, man? Yeah, and the link is up there towards the top of the chat room if you would like to jump in live. Special show, just not, it's a total random deal. Nothing in particular, just like the title says, Saturday Night Hangout with Joe D. So we're just hanging out. It right now, this is just like if we decided to meet up at Hooters, man, and have a beer. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the typical thing that I would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's hang out. Hey, I'll meet you at Hooters and at what is it? Going to be 10:30. I'll meet you at Hooters at 10:30, man. Let's have a beer. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing except for this is safe. You know what I'm saying? You're in, I hope, the safety of your home. I'm in the safety of my home, and we're having a beer, and everyone's safe. I hope. That's the intention, right? So now our friends across the pond that might be joining in, this is going to be first thing in the morning. So I don't know if there's going to be too many of them that are going to want to jump in and have a beer right away, unless they happen to work nights like I do on the weekend. Now, I don't work weekends anymore, but once upon a time, I damn sure did for a long time. So, this would have been right up my alley in those days. I like what Andrew had to say. Now, Andrew, in Google Plus, had commented on one of the videos and said that I was starting a pretty good fan club here. And I didn't realize until I had seen the image on Google Plus from the video. And yeah, because I've got a ceiling fan boxed up over here, and then I've got my regular fan over here. So yeah, it's the beginnings of a fan club, and I actually need to buy about 2 or 3 more, and then I'm gonna have an electrician that I know come by and install them all for me. I could do them myself, but it's got the switches. He got the 2 switches, one for the fan and one for the light, and he gave me a good price. Plus, he's like, yeah, just have the beer. So I'm like, yeah, I got plenty of beer. You know what I'm saying? I could do the beer. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? So pretty cool guy, man. He's a pretty nice guy. So he's gonna install that for me. Hey, really quick, for those of you that didn't hear what I had to say earlier, the photography you see in back of me is all mine, right? Those are all images that I've shot, I've captured, I've printed. This one over here is, this one over there in the corner is what you call a tear out. It's I've been published half a dozen times now. So, and that's that's the tear out from the magazine that I was in, one of the pages. So, but I just wanted to say though that if you're like me, Okay, and most of us shoot a lot of pictures with this darn thing, and you have a lot of pictures you really like. Go ahead and print those things, man. Your phone will print these images that you're seeing right here. Most of these, let me see. Yeah, most of these images that you're seeing right now are 11 by 13, 12 by 18. I'm sorry. These images that you're seeing framed are 12 by 18. The ones that are above it that you can't see are much bigger than that. But these ones that you can see are 12 by 18. That's a good size. That's a decent little size. Your phone will make images that are that size, and if you edited them, if you edit them the right way, crop them a certain way, do this and that to them, add your particular filters that you like, and printed them. You could print them at Costco for like $3. You know what I'm saying? This size. Maybe other places you can do it cheaper. But all I'm saying is just to print them and put them on your walls, man. I mean, you can make some really nice wall art that you created, and it makes it that much more interesting. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Padal, what's up, man? We have Padal in the chat room. We do have a chat room for those of you that don't know. Maybe you're watching on, because I do. I'm the same way. I watch on my TV a lot. I have an Apple TV hooked to my TV, and I watch the YouTube app on my TV a lot. Actually, for me, that's actually my preferred way of watching YouTube, is actually on my TV through the Apple TV. So if you're watching that way, we do have a chat room, and that's going live right now as we speak. So if you're actually in YouTube, you can participate on the in the chat like that, typing it all out, and all that sort of thing. So, or there's a link in there, and you can definitely jump in live. I don't know if I posted it. Did I not post it? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Let me check first. Let me check. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here, just so you're not left in the dark. Let me share the screen. So you're going to start out in the untapped here, and then we're going to go to, all I got to do is type in that. And this is my, nope, doesn't look like oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I did. So here it is. So if you're in Google Plus, this is what it looks like, and you can just click this. See how it says signing Google accounts? You can just click that, and it'll jump you live right into the Hangout here, and you can be part of the Hangout on video live right now. So just showing you that, yeah, there is this other social network called Google Plus that some of us beer fanatics do use. You know what Google Plus is good for? Google Plus is good for all these niche sort of things. I am starting to get more of a, let me see, try to join chat. Doesn't work for MacBook. I'm all Mac. This is all I have as a Mac. I'm all Apple 100%. There's a stupid fly or something in here that's like in my space right now. Yeah, that's all I use, brother, is Apple products. That's all you'll see here. So I don't know. I'm actually using Safari right now, as a matter of fact, too. I'm even using the Safari browser to run this whole show. So not sure what's up. You know what I'm saying? But in the top of the chat there, I don't know if you see that link. You should be able to click that, and it should join you right in. Sometimes it's a Google thing and not an Apple thing. Sometimes Google is just not cooperating. Oh, you would like to buy a Nikon. Which Nikon would you like to buy? It's I'm a Canon shooter. The great thing about it is, if you're a Nikon, Sony, I would just encourage you to get whatever camera you're comfortable with, whatever camera you can afford. I would encourage you to go to the top of what you can afford, because if you're new to photography and if you haven't had an SLR like Padal 52 is talking about right now, if it's your first SLR, I would encourage you to get as much as you can afford. You know what I'm saying? Right at the top of your limit, even if it means saving another month's worth of money to get that next model up, because you're not quite sure. Once you get it and you start shooting, um, you're gonna learn a lot of the what do you call it, the features in that camera pretty quickly. You'd be surprised. And as you learn, if you got that next kind of up camera, it'll have those features that are waiting there for you as you kind of get your skill level up to what it's capable of. So that's just kind of my recommendation. That's the way I did it when I first got my first SLR. Oh, the D3400. Cool. Let's look that up. I'm not familiar with Nikon at all. Some guys are. Some guys know every single camera for every single. What is it? The D3400. I don't know at all. So I would have to. I'll have to look it up to see what those features would be. Okay, so it just came out August 2016. CMOS sensor, so it's a crop sensor. 24.2 megapixels. Nice. Seems like a really good one. I mean, they all take amazing photos. You know, are you going to get a kit? I would assume. Looks like we've got one on here on Amazon. So what is this? Nikon D3400 with AF/P. So that would be what, autofocus plus something, DX. I'm not familiar with all the Nikon nomenclature, but they all kind of do the same thing. They have just different names for doing the same thing. And this is a kit, so it comes with an 18 to 55, which is pretty standard. F3.5 to 5.6. It's pretty standard. $396, so under $400. It's a really good price. And if you want it by Tuesday, boom, order it right now in the next 35 hours and you can have it. This is what I like that Nikon's doing right here, man. This is sweet. So you can get different colors. You don't have to be just locked into black. You can get red if you want. That's cool. Oh, what's my oh, that's easy. I'll show you right now, Mario. My favorite brewery right now as we speak. My favorite brewery, it's easy. It's Goldwater Brewing. You can see it already popped up here. I love this brewery. Goldwater Brewing is in Scottsdale, Arizona. Easily my favorite brewery right now. I love them because it's a small little brewery. They're doing things right. Every beer that I've had there is fantastic. They're only 2 years old, as you can see. And they're just phenomenal. I love what they're doing. They don't serve food there for the most part. I think they might have special events where they might have some food, but for the most part, when you go on a daily basis, just pretty much expect like popcorn. They have a little popcorn machine there. Now, there's other restaurants in that immediate area, so if you want some food, I mean, you can get some food, and they might have food trucks that stop by and that sort of thing. But the days that I've been, it is literally, this is the inside of the brewery, as you can see right here. It is literally all about the beer, and that's what I love about them. The parking sucks. I can tell you that right now. And it's small. It's small. I mean, you have the counter here, and then there's a few tables set up outside of the counter that are out of the view of this picture, and that's about it. I mean, you're looking at pretty much the whole setup. And that's exactly what I love about it. It's what I love about it. The beer is phenomenal. And then I think it's after 4 p.m. they have a basement, and that's really small as well. And that's where they'll serve like their really, really specialty stuff. They'll serve a lot of their oh doggone it, what am I from? I'm forgetting the um oh, cask. A lot of their cask stuff they'll serve down there. I think it's open between what, like 4 and 8 or something like that. I've never actually been, but if you follow them on any of the social networks, I follow them on IG, on Instagram, and you can see pictures of when they open that up. Um, the days that I've been, I haven't necessarily stuck around long enough for it to open, is what happens with me. I have typically gone to Scottsdale for a photo shoot right after I get out of work. And those of you that know, I work all night. So when I get out of work, it's usually first thing in the morning. And then if I have a shoot in Scottsdale, then I like to swing by Goldwater, and whether it be shooting models or shooting cars in Scottsdale, I like to go to Goldwater afterwards and have a beer and maybe pick up a crowler. They have anything that they have on tap. They will what we call crowler it for you. You know what I'm saying? It's where they can it right there. They'll pour it right out of the tap, and then they can it right there. I think they're 24 or 25 ounce crowlers. Um, I think they're 24-ounce crowlers. I think the crowlers that they have that they do ahead of time are 25 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. And then the ones that they have for you, um, if you just want them at random, are 24 ounces, I think. They might be 25 as well. I'm not exactly sure. 1 ounce difference. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Now we have D Eagle. What is this? 21, 23. Excuse me. I just got here. I'm sure you guys heard about. Yes, we did. We talked about that on the. I think it was it Friday Share Beer Show? Did we talk about that on the Friday show? But yeah, the acquisition of with them in Asheville, North Carolina. Now that is only what, 3 or 4 hours north of our friend Mark, who's in Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, no, we talked about that. That is definitely, of course, then Eagle knows for sure that Four Peaks is definitely in that what AB InBev is calling their high end brewery division. And now they're adding Wicked Weed to that as well. So I don't know. What can you say? I guess Wicked Weed started in according to the information we had, I think they started in 2012, 2010 or 2012. And it seems like a lot of the breweries that are going into that high end division of InBev are looking for distribution. You know what I'm saying? They just can't quite afford that next level, and I think that's kind of on purpose. I think InBev is definitely making it very, very difficult for all your smaller craft breweries to get to that next level. Sam Adams, Stone, some of the others. Oh, good grief. Anyway, some of the others that have gotten to that kind of next level, if you will, kind of slipped through the cracks, I think, in the early days. But now that InBev is definitely honed in on it, you don't see too many more getting that big. Now, I think Deschutes is making a serious run at getting that big. They have now almost, I think they're reaching 20 states now or something like that. And Deschutes, of course, is out of Oregon. They're a fast-growing brewery. um, getting more and more well established. You know what I'm saying? So let's see who else we have here. We have James Johnson. What's up, man? Let's see. What is your favorite style of beer? I really like Scotch ales. Okay, IPAs and Belgian triples. Wow. So there's a lot of difference in there, man. That's some pretty different styles, but that's good. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much like. I can tell you what I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of sours. I'm not a big sours guy. I can sample a lot of different sours and tell you which one I think is better, and you might even agree if you are a sours person. But it's not necessarily my favorite style. I don't necessarily like sours. My favorites, though, I would have to say are definitely. Um, I could go hell. I'm having a Scotch ale right now. Well, it's a Scotch style amber ale. I do like browns. I do like ambers. I like um, um, porters. I like barley wines. I like a lot of your dark beers. But also I like a good IPA every once in a while, like a good tart, hit you in the gut type of IPA. I like a good, you know what I'm saying? Every once in a while. Depends on the mood, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like a good wheat, a good wheat beer, you know what I'm saying? But mostly, yeah, browns. If I'm gonna go towards something that I'm really feeling a lot, it's definitely going to be browns, stouts, or porters. I definitely like those for sure. Let me see. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, so Wallace is in Asheville, right on. So you probably have some strong feelings about Wicked Weed. I would love to hear that. Absolutely. And again, let me reiterate, maybe you guys obviously just jumped in. If you scroll to the top of that chat room, there's a link to jump in live if you would like. I would love to hear from you and have a conversation as well. But the chat is fine too. Let me see. Eagle also says Bud has gone the distance. If you can't make better beer than them, uh, buy them and pump it out. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. I mean, that's their theory, right? I mean, it's the same thing that all the big companies do. Facebook does it. This platform that we're using right now that owns this, the people that own this platform, Google, they damn sure do it. They have what Google calls it the A list, right? They have their A list uh, 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 um, division of tech companies that they own. They're doing the same exact thing that InBev is doing with craft beer. Google has done that with the A list. I'm pretty sure they call it the A list. I keep up on my tech a little bit as well. So it's nothing different than any other corporation is doing. Um, but I think it's even more drastic with craft beer, with beer in general, because the big breweries control distribution of beer so tightly. I mean, they have the money. They're the big established breweries for years and years and years, and they definitely control distribution because the law is in their favor. In a lot of these municipalities and counties and states and so forth. And that's the big difference with the tech companies. The tech companies, a lot of it's kind of the Wild West, if you will, and it's just a matter of uh, where the Googles and where the Microsofts and where the Apples and where the um, Facebooks of the world, and we have all the money. And if you're a new startup in tech, then a lot of those companies are actually looking to start something that's niche, get it going well, so they can get bought out, quite frankly, and so that they can get bought out and take that cash to do something else with. A lot of them, that's their whole plan. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It's no different with craft beer. A lot of these breweries, they want to get off to a good start, make it look good, polish it up, and hopefully get bought. I mean, I can't knock them for that. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to. It's America. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that I don't know. Some people, that's their whole mission. Let me see here. What else we got here in the chat? Let's see. We got James Johnson. Let's see. I am just happy that we might be able to get these beers in Minnesota. Yeah, and see that for a lot of us that you hear about certain beers in your area because we're on YouTube or you're on Facebook and you hear about different beers from friends or whatever. Social networks, you hear about different beers in different areas and how good they are, and you can't get them, and they sell out like someone like Wicked Wheat sells to InBev, and you wait 6 months, and next thing you know, you're getting Wicked Wheat beer in your area, and you're like, hey, this ain't so bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's that. What can you say? You know what I'm saying? I mean, now I think it was who was it? It was Goose Island. I think with 2010 was the first one to be part of that high end. I remember me and Mark talking about it a while back, and we were kind of wondering what was the name of that division that InBev had started, and they literally called it high end. That's all they call it. It's that simple, high end. They probably paid someone hundreds of thousands of dollars to think that up too. I mean, they could have dialed me up. You know what I'm saying? I'd have told them, yeah, high end. You know what I'm saying? Give me a check. You know what? I'd have done that. Ooh, did I get him? I think I got him. Hold on. There's been this little fly flying around my space here. I think I got him. Hopefully I didn't get him in my beer. If I did, he's getting drunk. I'll tell you right now, I ain't gonna throw out a whole beer over some stupid fly, man. I just crush it. No, I'm just kidding. He ain't in there because I wouldn't drink it. Are you kidding me? No, he ain't in there. I don't know where he went though. I must not have got him because he'd have been right here on the desk or something, and I don't see him. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see him. In any case, for those of you that didn't see, I am having a Vadio Rojo Scottish style amber ale from right here in Tucson, Arizona. I am in Phoenix, Arizona, for those of you that don't know. Barrio Brewing Company in Tucson, Arizona is on 800 East 16th Street in Tucson, Arizona, for those of you that might be visiting or coming here soon and you want to check out some breweries in the area. My next beer will be the 805 from Firestone Walker. This is a pretty good session beer. Nothing super special about it. Just a good session beer. They sell them in 12 packs, bottles. Let me see what else we got here. Let's see. He's Mario in Arizona says if you're ever in the Chandler area, you have to try Uncle Bear's Brewery. Uncle Great Brews and Burgers. And I haven't been to the brewery, but I've had their beers. As you know, they're. I think I started seeing their beers sometime last year. Different taps at different bars and in the area. So I've had plenty of their beers. I think they're even canning some of their stuff now, bottling some of their stuff. But they're definitely in some of the bars that I've been to, especially in my immediate area. They'll usually have one or two taps. Hooters, they're definitely at Hooters here in the area. You can go to different Hooters and they have a couple of taps there at Hooters for sure. They're pretty good, but I imagine going to the brewery and having some food with the beer, and then I imagine they have more than just two taps. Yeah, so I would imagine they have some pretty good beers. Let's check them out. Let's give them some props because they do have some decent beers, that's for sure. So the one you're going to see on screen right now is Goldwater Brewing. That's That's here in the Phoenix area. This is in Scottsdale, Arizona. One of my favorite little breweries that no charge. I keep pumping them up a little bit, but let's look up Uncle Bear's. Uncle Bear's. Uncle Bear's Brewing. They got a Facebook. They got an Untapped. Looking for their own website. Uncle Bear's. What is this? Bar and Grill, probably. Arizona Beer Week. Yeah, that was a big one for them. Yep, that's them. Bear Story, menu, catering. Unfortunately, they don't have anything. So they got Gilbert, Arizona. This is hard to. Let me see if I refresh it. Maybe it didn't log in. Maybe it didn't pull up right. No, it's still. So it's hard to see here, as you can tell. But they have Gilbert. They have two locations. What it looks like, Gilbert and Mesa, Arizona. Both of those are on the east side of Phoenix. The whole Phoenix metro area. They're on the east side of that. Let me see. Maybe if I hit the contacts, then it will show. No, it's not. So it looks like this is still under construction. They're still working on it. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely not going to knock them. They're still looks like they're working on their website here. But they have some decent beers. I've had two of them that I can think of, and let's go to their Untapped. That's usually a better. We can definitely get a better idea of the beers that they have. So here on Untapped, you can see here they have the Mutts Nuts. You gotta, man. That's what I love about beer. Some of the names are just so funny. You know what I'm saying? I love how stuff doesn't take it. A lot of the breweries don't take themselves too seriously. Dog Park, Dark Ale, Head to Tail Amber Ale, Fence Jumper Golden Ale, Bears Beach, Bum Tropic. And I would assume that's a tropic ale, probably a tropical IPA is what that is. Holiday Hound Winter Ale, and the list goes on and on. I mean, they have a bunch of different beers, so that's to give them some props there. And they're listed in Phoenix, Arizona. 22,000 ratings for the brewery. That is, this is for the brewery, not a specific beer. 3.57 bottle caps is what that brewery gets altogether as a rating. And as you can see, I've had two of their beers. Had the head to tail amber ale at Hooters right there. See, you can see I wasn't kidding. Had that twice apparently. So I guess I had the same beer twice. I thought maybe I had two different styles, but I guess I had the same one twice. And let's click on that head to tail and check that one out. 5.6% ABV, 29 IBUs. This copper-colored American style amber ale has a balanced malt flavor with plenty of hop character. We use 4 different varieties of hops, creating an amber ale with a floral citrus aroma and flavor that finishes clean and dry. And does it show the rating I gave it? Let me see. What rating did I give it? I gave it a 3. So yeah, that's solid enough. You know what I'm saying? So I gave it a 3. That's what my picture looked like. I was at the Hooters, probably over there in Metro, probably in Metro area, Metro Center area, Phoenix. Let me see. James says Bud has been buying a lot of their distributes, to which is really kind of a worrying trend. Yeah, it is. It really is. But at the same time, I think in general, now we had this discussion as well. I think it was in 2015 or 2016, we finally surpassed actually the amount of breweries that we had uh, pre-prohibition era. And that's something when you think about it. We had less population. I don't know by how many. I don't know the exact numbers, but we had less population then, right? Because you're talking what, the 1930s, right? Something like that, 1920s, 30s. We had how much less of a population then, and we're just now surpassing the amount of breweries that we had back then. That's crazy. So Americans definitely loved some beer back then. Definitely loved some beer, and they definitely love their good beer. Now, what I've always heard is that if you could have pre-prohibition Budweiser, pre-prohibition Coors, and so on and so forth, that you would really love it. Now, due to prohibition, um, a lot of those beers had to get watered down, right, in order to survive and do all these different tricks that they had to do to slip by the government. So, and that ends up being the recipes that we still have to this day of those original beers. And that's how they survived that whole period. So it is kind of interesting, you know what I'm saying? But you could get a little fearful if you wanted to. I mean, you could get fearful of all sorts of stuff, right? But it's just kind of the cycle of life. It's kind of the way things go, right? You just kind of know that. But there's still so many different good craft beers in your area. I know since I'm coming up on 3 years here in Phoenix, and I know just in the 3 years that I've been here in Phoenix, there's been so many. Well, look, the one that I was just the brewery that I was just talking about a little while ago, Goldwater Brewing, started up since I've been here, and they're an excellent brewery. I mean, there's so many breweries that are popping up every year. There's at least a good handful or a dozen that are probably popping up in your area right now. So for every one or two that might get bought up by the big boys, there's another dozen coming behind that are really good, and we should support. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the only way they're gonna survive is to keep supporting them, keep drinking that beer, right? Um, yeah, see that he's saying the body of beer sounds pretty good. Me, okay, we got that one down. Now, no charge. Now, let me get to um my next one. I got a fresh glass for this one. The 805. Now, this one's kind of warmed up a little bit. It's still cold to the cheek, not just cool. It's still cold to the cheek, so it's probably somewhere in the high 40s. Okay, see if we get some good smoke. I'm using my snake bite bottle opener. If you remember, those of you that might not, uh, they sent this to me for a review. Snake bite. It's a good bottle opener. You know what I'm saying? It's what they call a premium bottle opener. Oh, no smoke, but we got some spillage here, man. What's up with that? I do have a beer emergency towel nearby. Always have a beer emergency towel, man, nearby, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know, you might get some spillage. So here we go. You're going to see this one poured. This will be your average kind of light lager, pilsner, whatever you want to call it. Firestone Walker is out of California. Um, Let me see. I'm pretty sure they're out of California, right? Don't make a liar out of me. Let me see here. Yes, Paso Robles, California. Firestone Walker Brewing Company. So they're out of Paso Robles, California, and Kansas City, Missouri. So they're out of both places. So if you're anywhere in that Kansas City, Missouri area, you might be able to find these people too. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that till right this very moment. Now they also have something written inside the bottle cap, and it says properly chill, and then it says at 805 beer inside the bottle cap. It's pretty small font, so I don't know, even if I got it super close to the camera, you'd be able to see that. Now the head's dissipated pretty quickly. It's about half a finger right now, as you can see. But there is still a thin, really, really thin head on there. Nice golden lager. Yeah, it's got that nice sweetness to it, but not too sweet. Nice maltiness body. You can smell that nice malt body to it. Pretty decent. Now, it's a little warmer than I think you would want to drink this. I'm going to drink it, of course. I'm pretty used to room temperature beers, but this one, you would definitely want to have it more chilled. For your average person, is definitely going to want to have this particular style more chilled. It's definitely recommended. I'm okay with it. I don't mind drinking beers that are more lukewarm, but lagers should be, somewhere in the 30s. They really should, in very, very low 40s as far as Fahrenheit temperature. So, yeah, Paso Robles, yes. We are spoiled here in California. Are you in Paso Robles? Are you really? Ishmael? That's pretty cool. I would like to know if you've actually been to Firestone Walker. That would be pretty cool to know. This one here is 4.75%. We will look them up I'll share the screen here. We'll look them up in Untapped. Untapped, for those of you that don't know, hey, Ishmael, what's up, man? We will look them up I'll share the screen here. We'll look them up in Untapped. Untapped, for those if you can get your sound coming through your headphones, that would be much better. But we will look them up. Let me see, 805. If you can get your sound coming through your headphones, that would be much better.
Yeah, I'm kind of. No.
No problem, man. Not a problem. So they classify it as a blonde ale. And they have the 2017 version, or let me see if I can find the regular version.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, we can hear you now. It's all good.
Yeah, not working.
Oh, it's not working? Let me see if I can find the regular version.
I don't think it's working.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, not working.
Oh, it's not working?
Yeah, it's just being weird.
See if I can find the regular version. Yeah, it's yeah, your first time, if you haven't been on, it can be a little off-putting, you know what I'm saying? There's a little fine tuning that has to be done. And then once you figure out the system, then it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there is a little bit of a learning curve, I guess. I don't know. It's weird, man, because this is the only place still to this day. Google Plus, well, I have to quit doing that. YouTube is the only place where you can do this multiple live chat thing anywhere on the internet, completely free. Now, you can do it on many other formats now, but they're going to want to charge you for some part of it, right? This is no charge. This is the only place you can do it completely free. Just in your web browser without any additional software or anything. Skype still does it pretty well, but That's going to be more of an exclusive thing, right? They're going to be, you're going to be excluding a lot of people. Oh, okay. So Wallace says, yeah, I'm not going to Wicked Weed again. Maybe once to see if the quality or anything has changed. I tell you what, man. You know what? It doesn't. A lot of people say, "Hey, Word Prophet, what's up, bro? Good to hear you, man." Now, Air Prophet's here in Arizona as well, so we have Arizona represented in the chat. What's up, Arizona? But in the early days when Goose Island first got bought up by InBev, and InBev bought Goose Island, and they hadn't started the high end division yet, and a lot of people were saying that was it. I'm not drinking Goose Island anymore. And hello, you can find Goose Island anywhere you go now, right? And initially, you had a lot of the head brewers and so forth leave Goose Island. There was a huge, I don't know, management switch, if you will, at Goose Island. But you know what, man? It hasn't really affected them at all, other than they're everywhere. Like you can find Goose Island most places now. Most people that couldn't get Goose Island are able to find them now, and they've kind of really left it alone. The new brewmaster and the new people at Goose Island took over of course, from the people that had left. And let me go back on the screen here. And now it's still a pretty good product. And for the most part, it seems like the breweries that are under the high end part, now this is from the high end division of InBev, they've seemed to pretty much leave those breweries alone. The other breweries they've directly touched, but the ones that they've put under the high end division, they've pretty much left alone and pretty much kept them to just, okay, yeah, we're I don't know, the big papa, and we're just going to help you out with distribution. And that's purely what they've done. So the people that have been fans of those breweries, like Four Peaks, Four Peaks here locally in Arizona, a lot of us. Well, I'm new to Four Peaks. I'm not as familiar as other people that are even in this chat right now. But I've become a fan of Four Peaks. I like Four Peaks, and I would like to see them stay the same. And I'm keeping my eye on them. I'm not going to quit buying them, but because there's a place for them. You know what I'm saying? There's a place for them. But I'll keep buying Wicked Weed. I mean, I didn't buy Wicked Weed a whole bunch in the first place, but it's not going to keep me from buying them. I'll still buy them and check them out, and if I see some of their specialty stuff. Let me see. Mario says I just bought myself some Hefeweizens. Good, right on. From who? What brewery did you get those Hefeweizens from? That'd be kind of cool to know. But yeah, no, it wouldn't stop me from buying Wicked Weed. But maybe you seriously feel that strongly about it. That's totally up to you. Let me get back to this. Let me share the screen here again, and I'll get back to talking about this 805. What they're calling a blonde ale, a 4.75% ABV, 20 IBUs, subtly sweet and sessionable, formerly known as honey blonde. And it's definitely that. You can see I've had several. You can see my check-ins. I've had several of these. I'm not unfamiliar with 805. I don't log every single 805 I have because I have had a bunch. I've bought several of their 12 packs, so I'm not gonna log every single 805 beer I have. But 124 over 124,000 ratings at the time of this video, 2,256 in the last 30 days, and it gets a 3.56 bottle cap rating, which is solid. I mean, yes, Ismail says 805 is a great lawnmower camping beer. Great description of it. That is exactly what it is. It's a great lawnmower camping beer. As a matter of fact, I bought it because the person I bought it for, I was going over to have some beers, and we were gonna just do some hanging out while he was fixing his fishing equipment. And he's kind of a Coors guy, so I thought this beer would go perfect for him, and it did. He ended up liking it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that little bit better. If you're a macro guy, if you're the type of guy that loves Coors, loves Budweiser, loves Bud Light, well, maybe not your light beers, but if you like regular Coors or you like regular Bud, maybe you're a PBR guy. If you're that guy, then you might like this 805. It's got just that little bit more flavor. It's just a little bit more interesting. And but there again, you're still gonna want. Right now, I'm drinking this, and it's pretty much room temperature right now. I'm not gonna lie. You're definitely gonna want to have this in that in that 35 to I would say 42-degree range, right? You're going to want to definitely have this nicely chilled or nicely on some ice, you know, to get full enjoyment. These blonde ales, anything light like this, anything. Let me jump off of this. There we go. So anything light like this, you're definitely going to want to have it more chilled. It's definitely going to want to be under 45 degrees, I would say, just in general, just as a general rule. If you're having a wheat beer, as our friend in the chat here mentioned, Mario, Hefeweizen, you're definitely going to have those light beers under 45 degrees, I would assume. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just a craft beer nerd like I am, and I could pull these right out of the pantry and just start drinking them. It doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? But you still kind of like to have something true to style. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is still nice to have them chilled, like properly. Um, hey, Neri, what's up, man? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it would be early morning for Neri, man. Now Neri ain't gonna be doing no big smoke right now in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Because right now he's in the future. So it's Sunday morning for Neri, and I don't know. A lot of people ain't gonna do beer first thing Sunday morning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's 0800 in the morning for him right now, man. Exactly. It's 8 in the morning. I knew it was. I knew it was. Yeah. So yeah, he's more inclined to have a nice cup of coffee right now and maybe a piece of toast. You know what I'm saying? He's not in the mood for not just right now, not in the mood for a nice cold one right now. So you're still trying to rub the sleep out of the eyeball and all of that. Yeah. Yeah, he says it's a bit too early, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you feel like it, man, if you ain't got too much sleep in your eyeball, at the top of the chat, as you know, there's a link if you want to jump in. You're more than welcome to Neri. Neri's our good friend of the show from Holland, so he's live from Holland right now. Light Pilsner would do. So are you? Yeah, maybe a light Pilsner. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a blonde ale. A blonde ale would do as well. You know what I'm saying? Actually, a coffee beer, a coffee stout, maybe. Or, if you're like me and you happen to live near a dairy, I have no charge. I have coffee milk now, and they actually milk. They actually make that milk with real coffee. Now, if you're so inclined, you could sneak a couple of snorts of whiskey in there, or a couple of snorts of rum in there with your coffee milk in the morning, and kind of get things jump started like that too. But I'm not trying to play instigator. I'm just saying I've heard of people doing that sort of thing. So yeah, yeah. See, Ishmael had the same idea, coffee stout. Yeah. So there's plenty of coffee stouts out there, man. I mean, coffee and stouts and coffee and porters. Uh, how there's even coffee IPAs. I mean, they're mixing coffee with everything. There's so many different kinds. If you get into coffee, we've had that conversation a dozen times on here as well, on the Share Beer show, that is. Whereas it's almost like if you have a beer that says it's a coffee whatever, a coffee stout or a coffee porter, they almost need to be specific, right? Because if you're into coffee, even lightly into coffee, you know that there's, you know, Jamaican coffee, there's Guatemalan coffee, there's Hawaiian coffee, there's a million different kinds of African coffees, there's East Indian coffees. I mean, there's coffee from all over the world, and that coffee is made so many different, roasted in so many different ways, and grown in so many different parts of those countries, that you really need to be specific with what coffee is in there, where it's from, and how it's roasted. Um, because that makes a huge difference, right? There's some coffees that are earthier, some coffees that are fruitier, some coffees that are nuttier, some coffees, and I know your true coffee nerds don't like to say the coffee's ever bitter. I will. I'll tell you, dude. There's some coffees that are more bitter, and I kind of get what they're saying. The true coffee nerds will say coffee's not really bitter. It's more the way you brew it that makes it bitter, and I get that, because um but you are starting to see that with some beers. Some beers, some some breweries, that is, will let you know that, okay, we got this coffee from such and such local brewer, a coffee brewer, um and they cold brewed it, right? It's cold brew coffee from such and such. They'll let you know at least that. Or we traditionally brew this from such and such, but they're not getting specific enough, because the way that that coffee is brewed, that region it comes from, and so on and so forth, will dictate the coffee notes that you're going to get in that beer as well. And it's why in some of my beer reviews, you notice that when I do a beer that is barrel aged, I'll get real specific with you. I'll do the best that I can with the information that I'm given to let you know, okay, this is the barrel that they used, or this is the barrel that I believe that they used, because they didn't give that detailed information. But I'll try to do the best that I can to give you the information that I know of at the time of that review, for the possible barrel that they use, to give you those notes that could be in that beer, which is very important. So once the breweries are getting so good with mixing different ingredients in their beers, and then barrel aging those beers on top of that, and it just adds to the complexity. And complexity is good. Don't get me wrong. Complexity is fantastic. It's exactly what you want. But once you really get into craft beer, you're trying to you're trying to figure out all these different tastes, all these different what we call tasting notes, right? So if you hear someone describe something as a note, I'm getting this note and I'm getting that note, or I got all these notes. It's tasting notes, or notes that you might get on the nose, or which is all your different senses. The more senses you can involve in sampling something, which is tasting something, the better chance you're gonna like it, right? So it's cool. Now I have to pick on Mario a little bit here, because he says there's actually a pretty decent Blue Moon cappuccino stout. I thought it was pathetic, but I would like to know what you actually liked about it. The problem with Blue Moon is all their different beers taste the same for some reason. I mean, they don't touch on enough of the note that is in the description of what they say it is. So cappuccino stout, for example, Blue Moon doesn't ever quite hit that cappuccino. And if you're good, that was exactly what I'm talking about. So if you're gonna hit cappuccino, what are we supposed to be sampling here? There's different kinds of coffees, and there's what I'm saying. They're not specific enough with that. Those of you that go to your favorite coffee, they call them brewers, don't they? Coffee brewers, coffee houses. You might get a cappuccino there, and you get a cappuccino in a certain particular way. You'll order it a specific way, right? And that should be in the description of the beer that you're sampling as well. Like, that's what I'm saying is the brewers are getting the breweries, as far as beer, are getting, so they're putting so many complex ingredients in there. They need to be a little more specific as to what notes we're supposed to be getting from these different beers. And Blue Moon I feel horrible at it. I mean, I give them like a B minus for effort, as far as the different flavors and the different things that they're attempting to try with beer, but they fall really short. I mean, as far as actual taste, I mean, it's just all their beers just taste the same. They really do. Let's see, James. Let's see, Coffee Double Bock, one of my favorites. Cool. You love Coffee Double Box. Now who from what brewery? That's kind of a style, right? Like what you just described as a coffee imperial Bock. Now that's a lot of breweries make an imperial or a double Bock, a coffee double Bock. So yeah, let me know what brewery, so I can kind of agree or disagree with you. I'd love to know. King of Here, do you ever feel that extensive knowledge in subjects such as football strategy, movie analysis, and or fine crafting are wasted in a world filled with such dire phenomenon, requiring smart solutions? What the hell? That made my head hurt, bro. What's up with that? Let me see. Let me read that again. Let me see. Do you ever feel that is that a serious question, or are you making fun of me? Let me see. Do you ever feel that extensive knowledge in subjects such as football, strategy, movie analysis, and or fine crafting are wasted in a world filled with such dire phenomena requiring smart solutions? Man, I ain't smart, so I don't know. That's making my head hurt right there, man. I don't know, man. That's like, I feel like that question. Okay, let me see. It's 11:30 basically at night right here, right? Maybe if you're on the East Coast, it's about 3:30, right? Or coming up on 3:30. So like that's one of those where you didn't pass, you didn't puff give, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you kept that one all to yourself, man, and then typed in a question to me, bro. Like because that was like, man, we're on a different level. I'm not even there with you yet, man. You know what I'm saying? That was deep. Let me say Ismail Prairie makes great coffee beers. Okay, so I'll look that up here in a second. What time is it there? Oh, okay, yeah, it's 11:30 at night here in Erie. Wow, so you like Santa Fe Imperial Java, one of the best. That's interesting. So Ismail likes Santa Fe's Imperial Java. I liked Santa Fe Brewing. I assume in Santa Fe, New Mexico, right? Brews a decent um, Imperial Java. They can it, and then they have some special editions though that they'll come out with in bombers that are absolutely fantastic. But their regular Java and their Imperial that they can is okay. It's good, but it's not as good as some other New Mexico breweries that brew Java stouts. That's for sure. Um, Chama River is one of them. I mean, Chava River is insane, and La Cumbre Brewery in New Mexico is awesome as well. There's a lot of New Mexico breweries that are so good. I feel like in a lot of ways, Santa Fe Brewing's a decent brewer, and out of New Mexico, Santa Fe Brewing's probably the one that has the widest distribution. So a lot of if you've had a beer from New Mexico, more than likely it's from Santa Fe Brewing because they have the biggest distribution. But there's so many gold medal winners and silver medal winners as far as GABF from New Mexico that have actually trumped Colorado now. And I always felt like, man, they just don't get that recognition like Colorado does. But some of the farmers in New Mexico that grow the hops really take a lot of pride in it. There's a lot of green chili farmers that were growing green chili that switched to growing hops, and because of that high altitude and the soil that they would grow the chili with, now they grow hops with. It's just growing this superior product. It's just growing this product. The hops that they're growing there is just insane. And so some of those breweries in New Mexico are just so good. Oh man, they're really good. Um, I always felt like when I was living in New Mexico that I was having something special. I really was. I wasn't just when I would review those beers from home back then. Um, I wasn't just being a homer. I mean, it was like I was living in Colorado, if you will. It was like I was living in Denver. You know what I'm saying? Because those breweries are so good. They really are. They're fantastic. And anybody that's taken a brewery tour in New Mexico knows that. I mean, that especially in that Albuquerque area, there's so many good breweries there now. It's insane. And the same thing's happening right here in Arizona, though. There's a lot of good breweries right here in Arizona as well. So not to take anything away from where I'm currently at, but there is something special about Colorado, and I think it's that altitude. I think there's something to do with that. And Albuquerque is definitely on the south side of that Rocky Mountain range, and that altitude, and man, there's some good beers coming out of there as well. So I always have to give props to that. Santa Fe's good, but not great. But their specialty beers, though, are fantastic. They come out with some specialty beers that are bomb for sure. So I just wanted to get that out there. Let's see, Dark Horse. Oh, Dark Horse, yeah. Now, Dark Horse, I keep hearing about. Now, I haven't had Dark Horse, but I keep hearing about them. And yeah, Dark Horse out of Michigan. You know what? Michigan beer scene, there's some stuff coming out of Michigan that we have to give props to, too. There's a whole nice big beer scene coming out of Michigan that's really good. You keep hearing them come up there, come up here and there. King of Here, that's too much. Yeah, no. Neri says, yeah, none of us is that smart, man, right? Like, yeah, that's just, yeah, it's just kind of woo. Oh, okay. Ishmael says he can only get Santa Fe. Wallace says, Green Man near me make good stouts. Okay, yeah, let me look up Green Man. I've never heard of them before, so let me look them up. Let's check them out. Let's see, Green Man. So that would be Green Man Brewing, I would assume. So, oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me share the screen. Let me go. Is it? There it goes. Let's see, Green Man. Green Man Brewing, Asheville, North Carolina. Cool. Legendary ale since 1997. Yeah, we've never looked this brewery up, as you can tell, because it's still blue. If I'd have clicked on it at one time or another, it would. I always try to use Safari browser when I'm doing these shows, so so you can kind of tell if we've ever clicked on a particular brewery or not, because it'll show up here. So it shows what blue or something instead of or green or whatever it shows up. But Green Man Legendary Ales, awesome. Let's check out some of their offerings. Let's see, on tap. Let's just see what's on tap right now. Flagship beers, you have ESB. Okay, so you have a specialty bitter, which is an English style, right? That's an English style bitter, I would assume. So IPA, a porter, which is all standard stuff, 6.2. You have 5.5% ABV for a ESB, which is actually pretty high. ESBs, your bitters are usually fairly low, actually, somewhere in the 4s. Sometimes you'll catch them in the high 3s even. So a 5.5% ESB is actually pretty high ABV for a bitter. An IPA, 6.2%, 63 IBUs. That's a pretty standard IPA, English IPA. So porter, 6%, 40 IBUs. Looks like they're going after the whole English theme here, because everything's English, huh? So, which is cool. That's kind of because you see a lot of people trying to, go Belgium, or they're trying to go towards some other theme. I would love to have Mark in on this conversation, because Mark is much smarter. He remembers a lot of these things, but I don't remember as many American breweries styling themselves after English pubs, if you will, English breweries. You know what I'm saying? Because so far, every single beer here that I'm seeing is an English style, with the exception of this Wayfarer Summer IPA, which is an American IPA, 6% ABV, 70 IBUs. So I would assume that's more of a grassy kind of Probably using more. Let's see. This cool ale has a rockin' citrus aroma. Okay. You know what? That's Barrick from our friend of the show, Barrick from Florida. He really loves that citra hop, and it just seems like that is becoming the thing. Like that citra hop is really, really where it's at right now. In Mosaic, that hop is really where it's at right now as well. And it seems like a lot of breweries are starting to go that way. It's starting to get away from your super super high IBU beers. It seems like a lot of people's tastes now are starting to steer away from super bitter, if you will, IPAs into IPAs that have that still that slight bitterness to them, but are more tasteful, if you will. So tasteful meaning more fruity, or like they're doing something with it. In other words, not just I always compare hops to spiciness, if you will, like in food, So instead of just giving you food that's just super hot and you're like, oh, oh, give me a glass of milk. You know what I'm saying? It's just so hot you can't even enjoy it. To where you're getting food now that has that little bit of heat, a little bit of spiciness to it, but you're doing something more with the heat, right? Like you're giving me more of a particular flavor, or a more of a particular smokiness or something, right? And it's the same thing with hop. I feel like, okay, you're giving me some bitterness, but what are you doing with this bitterness? You're not just giving me bitterness for bitterness sake. Like you're giving me, some lemon, or I'm getting um now I'm getting some maybe orange zest type of citrus, or grapefruit, or red grapefruit, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing something more with it, and that's good. That's very good. Coconutter. Wow, a 3 point. Yeah, see, this is definitely. Let me share the screen with you here again. This is an interesting brewery. I like this. I like this. This is cool, man. Greenmanbrewing.com. Check them out, man. If you're in this area, check them out. I like this. I like this. So this is definitely an English style pub, an English style brewery, which is session brewery, which is really good, man. Now they do have some doubles in here. Here's a double right here. This is a 9.3% ABV beer. But for the most part, you're seeing beers that are under 6.5% ABV. And over here, what was it? You had, yeah, a 3.8%, 25 IBU beer. This Cocoa Nutter, let me see, let's read this one. We took our ribbon cutter, traditional English, dark, mild, and went a little nuts with it. The addition of toasted coconut lends a sweeter, nuttier character to the caramel notes of the original, in keeping with the style. This beer has very little hop flavor and is very sessionable. Enjoy a couple. See, to me, that's more the point, right? Like you don't want to have so many high ABV beers like the one I just had. The one I had, well, now it's been a couple hours ago, but the Victory at Sea, the coconut Victory at Sea that I had was 10% ABV. Now, Ballast Point's a damn good brewery. They hid the ABV really good. They hid the alcohol really well. But if you're not used to craft beer, that 10% is going to knock you out for the night, right? You're going to have that bomber, which is 2 pints, and be done, son. I think this is a business transaction, actually. This is smart. You want someone to walk into your brewery and drink as much beer as possible, right? Don't you? I mean, think about it. It's smart. You want someone to walk in your brewery and to be able to sample as much beer at I don't know, whatever you charge for it, $4, $5, $6 a pint. You want them to drink as much of that as possible, don't you? You don't want them to drink a couple of $6 pints and be out. They're like, yeah, no, I got to take an Uber. I'm out of here. Right? You're like, oh, well, that was two 10-ounce pours. What the hell was that? Right? No, man. This is smart. This is a business move right here. This is fantastic. Um, because you get the pleasure of being able to drink beers as much as you want because it's only 3.8% and has all the flavor in the world, right? You're enjoying just having pint after pint after pint. They're happy because you're having pint after pint after pint, which is ringing up profits. You know what I'm saying? Which is good for them because with the tax laws and everything the way they are, they need you to drink as many as possible. So this is a good. I think businesses, I think breweries are getting smarter. They're not just kind of trying to hop you to death or imperial whatever to death or double you to death. They're getting smarter. They're making more sessionable beers that you can enjoy pint after pint after pint and not get smashed and just keep enjoying and spending your money. Quite frankly, right? But you get enjoyment because you're getting quality beer and you're enjoying the taste of it. And so, a lot of these breweries have good food and so on and so forth. If I'm looking at this one, they hardly have any beers that are above 6.5%, which is good. That's smart. That's very smart. Good for them, man. I love that, man. Green Man Brewery. Thank you for sharing that one. That was a good one. Um, I like hearing about stuff. I like hearing about breweries like that because that's smart. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be green. That's why they're calling themselves Green Man Breweries. So they're trying to be environmentally friendly, which a lot of breweries are actually, quite frankly. What I like about the craft beer scene too, as well, and big beer is the same way. I think all beer jobs are good jobs. There's hardly a beer job that doesn't pay well. They all pay well. You can support a family working for a brewery pretty much, right? Like even your small mom and pop. I've been to some craft breweries here in Arizona that are literally mom and pop. It's literally husband and wife and maybe a couple of the cats that they just hired to kind of help them make beer and they're able to support their families. Like they're good paying jobs, so that's good. It's just. And then a lot of these craft breweries are trying to be environmentally friendly, trying to do things that are right. um a lot of the breweries share with each other. They kind of co-op and so on and so forth, and it's just a total good scene, man. You know what I'm saying? Love it, love it, love it. Absolutely love it. Let me see here. Let me go back a little bit. Can only get. Let me see. Yeah, some movies are going. Here are going hazy, juicy IPAs. Let me see. Yeah, Neri says I like Citra Hop as well. Duval in Belgium is using it, which is great. Wallace says check out Lamas Negra. Yeah, we'll check that out here in a second. Under High Gravity series. Let's see. Nuttier. Neri says Nuttier sounds great. Actually, the Rockford 8 is nutty as well. Now Neri's rubbing it in. He got a good deal on those Rockford 8s, and I think does he have the 10s as well? And so he's kind of rubbing it in there a little bit, right? Because he's got like 50 some of those darn beers over there, and he's rubbing it in, man, which is good. I would too if I had that many of those. If I could find a deal like that in my area, I'd be kind of rubbing it in as well. So let's see, Asheville. Oh, it is. Oh, okay, Asheville is quite hippie. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I see. I don't know. I don't know much about the the Carolinas. I haven't been. Whew, I haven't been to the Carolinas. Man, I think. Let me see. I remember last time I was in North Carolina, there was a tornado, or no, a hurricane about to hit the area. Oh, I want to say 96? Was it 96? 1996? Something like that. There was a big hurricane or something about to hit that area. And I actually had a load of Coors beer, and I think I was delivering to. I did. I think I delivered to. I think everybody was warning me too not to go, and I delivered that load. I delivered it to. It was South Carolina, as a matter of fact, and then I had to leave and go north to Virginia to pick up my next load. Where did I go in South Carolina? What? Yeah, because they were warning me not to even go down there. It was that dangerous. It was getting that bad. And me and my dumbass, yeah, I'll go. Woohoo! And I went in there, delivered that load of beer. There was people still working there, and I delivered that load of beer. God, where was I? It was one of the what's that popular spot in South Carolina? Um, God, and I think it was a matter of I think I delivered late morning, and they were literally expecting. I mean, that thing was on my heels. I mean, it was on my heels. There was people working because I delivered the load. I remember that now. Wow, that was God. That had to be. Was that 96? Had to be 96. Something like 95, 96. Something like that. Man, I remember that. That was crazy. That wind was blowing me everywhere too. It was that was yeah. I was nuts back then. I was nuts. I would. All you had to do was challenge me with something like that, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. Let me see. That was crazy. God, what was that area? That's driving me nuts a little bit. Um, South Carolina. It was one of those beach places. Oh man. Um. Anyway, but yeah, no, I'm not even kidding you. I delivered that load. I remember it was a load of beer. It was a load of Coors beer, and I remember that. Wow, I don't know. You know, it's funny. It's funny too that I do remember that because I don't remember much, but it's funny. I can remember trips. Like you know how and even Neary in his area, like it doesn't necessarily have to be American football or basketball or anything like that. Like sports guys, you can listen to sports guys and they won't remember like a lot of stuff, but they can give you specifics on what happened. Like you can get a Hall of Famer that hadn't played the game in 20 years, and he can remember specifics about a certain play that happened in a certain game, right? 30 years ago. Right? And that's me. Like if I can relate to a certain trip enough, I can remember certain loads. It's weird. I can pull it up like it was yesterday. It's weird. But I gotta relate it to like something, and then I'll start remembering like all these little memories will come back about a certain load. It's weird, but and then so I actually do still have some of those old log books too, and that kind of helps. Well, not really log books. Like I have, matter of fact, just like this, I have a lot of these little things, a lot of these old little pocket notebooks, if you will. So it's why to this day I still wear pocket tees because of these little notebooks. Now, back in the day, before we had all the technology like we do now, this was your technology. This I'm gonna show you the technology that we had when I was driving over the road. You had this, which is called an ink pen. Some of you people might not know what an ink pen is. This is an ink pen, and then this is a notepad. And you used to have pocket T-shirts because you had to carry a notepad and a pen in your pocket, right? And you would write like you would call on a phone that was attached to the wall. You would call on a payphone, and you would write down your information in your notepad about your next load or about your current load, right? You'd write all that stuff down, and so you always had your notepad and your pen in your pocket. And I still have that habit to this day. I always have to have pocket tees. And what's hilarious is what started out as something because I had to have because of trucking. Now I have to have pocket tees because of photography. With my photography, I'm always sticking something in my pocket. So when I shoot, I have my camera. I wish I had my camera here with me, or one of them. But I take my lens cap off. I put it in my pocket, right? So I'll grab my camera before I start shooting. I grab my lens cap, put it in my pocket. It's a habit. You know what I'm saying? And then the second I stop shooting, I reach my pocket and I put my lens cap back on. So it's like a habit. Or I'll carry an extra memory card. You know what I'm saying? So if I run out of memory, I got my memory card. So whatever I need is it's immediately right here while I'm shooting. So I can poop, 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 poop. You know what I'm saying? And whoop, 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 switch out, whoop, 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 whoop. You know what I'm saying? So it's real quick. But it all derived from trucking. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you that don't know, this is an ink pen. This is an ink pen. and this look at see this is a notepad. Look at it has paper with lines in it and everything. See? And you would write on it with your fingers. And you'd take the pen like this and you would actually write stuff. You didn't have to type everything. And you would actually write stuff on a piece of paper and use the phone and you would like this with the phone. You know what I'm saying? You would have the phone and you like that with the phone. You'd write stuff. Yeah, Neri says old school, man. Yeah, that's old school now. Isn't that funny? Like, but I still have these notepads around. I always feel the need to have these around. And as a matter of fact, I have stuff that I've written on here, notes from different Share Beer shows. I don't know if you guys realize that, but I actually write stuff down as we're talking. I write notes to myself or uh, uh, whatever the case may be. But these are all notes. I know you can't see it because of the light, but yeah, these are all notes that maybe someone says they're gonna miss a show. I wrote it down. You know what I'm saying? Or something happened during the show. I wrote it down. So, but that's all from that period. And so I still have a bunch of these. This is another one. I have them all over the place. That's another habit I have from those days. And so I have a lot of those those notepads because on those notepads I would write, okay, how many paid miles that trip was, how many deadhead miles that trip had. My route I would take. Sometimes I would write my route down, but most of the time, just seeing my origin and my destination and so on and so forth like that is enough for me to remember that whole trip. It's weird, and that could be 20 years ago, and I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, da 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 da, and that chick Loretta was hot. Yeah, man. Stuff like that, man. You can remember stuff like that. You're like, yeah, I remember that. And that's when I met Loretta. Woo! Right? Yeah, that's crazy, man. I remember that stuff, right? That's how that stuff rolls right there, man. Myrtle Beach. Yes, thanks, Wallace. Myrtle Beach. That's where I delivered to. It was a Coors distributor on Myrtle Beach, man. That's where I delivered. Yep. I'm glad he said that. Yep. That's right. I remember that, man. I remember that. And because there was many times I can remember another time I was in Tennessee. I think I was in, no, I was in either East Tennessee or Kentucky. I might have been in Kentucky. There was another time I think I was in Kentucky at I forget what truck stop I was at, and there was tornadoes and they wouldn't let us go. I happened to make it to a truck stop, and they wouldn't let us go, and they made us all go in the basement of this truck stop. And there was two or three different tornadoes around us, and that was a little bit of a scary situation. Yeah, that was a scary one, man. I'm not real familiar with tornadoes. I've been stuck, and I've seen tornadoes, a few of them, but I'm not real. I grew up I was born and raised in California, so I was familiar with earthquakes, but not tornadoes. You know what I'm saying? You don't see earthquakes coming, they just happen. You know what I'm saying? So you deal with it, but you don't like see a tornado coming at you. So that was frightening as all hell to me. I was like, ah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I remember they made us all go down to the basement of this truck stop. Well, I'm pretty sure I was in Kentucky, and there was a couple of tornadoes, so they made us wait till the tornadoes passed, and luckily they didn't hit that truck stop. So once it was safe, jump back in my truck and haul ass. You know what I'm saying? What else can you do? Yeah, that's funny, huh? All the stuff that happens. Yeah, South Carolina is OBX. Yeah, did you really deliver it? Yeah, I know I did. I delivered it. Let me see. Let me see. Haha, you're still doing that. Yeah, in old school. Yeah, that was that. Those notepads, man. I mean, it doesn't get more old school than that. I mean, that's nowadays. I mean, you're typing everything into your phone. You're still kind of writing it down, if you will, but you're kind of just typing it into your phone. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of da da da. I still have that habit of taking notes. I take a lot of notes, but I'm writing it into my phone. And we talk about that sometimes at work because um, they recently, really, really recently, within the last 2 months, let us know that we didn't have to do written logbooks anymore. We don't have to do that anymore because we have those computers in our truck, those electronic logbooks that keep track of everything for us now. So they let us know that we don't have to do that. Well, there's some of us, and I'm one of them. I'm just so old school. I just kind of I've been doing this over 20 years, so I'm just so used to it that I keep doing it now. I keep doing the manual written logbook, and it's gotten to the point now where they're not giving us logbooks anymore. So I happen to still have an old one that I hadn't filled out yet, and I'm that stubborn where even for this month of May, I started another logbook. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have us any, and I started another one. I'm like, I don't care. I've got one. I'm using it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, sometimes we we can be a little stubborn too, but it's one of those deals where for me it's kind of like a backup. Like you have to have a backup of the technology, and so I look at it as me backing up the technology, and sometimes because sometimes it still fails, and if it fails, then you're kind of stuck, like you can't roll. Versus if I still have my old school manual logbook, then I can still roll. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it. But I've been jabbering long enough, guys. I don't even know how many hours it's been now, but I've been jabbering long enough, man. I'm gonna get off of here. Have the rest of this Firestone Walker 805. Thank you guys for jumping in, man. I really appreciate it. Well, quite the chat room, man. A lot of people jumped in on the chat, man. That was great. Especially for such a last minute thing. Now it's midnight here in well, it's past midnight here in Phoenix time. So it would be definitely after 3 in the morning Eastern time. So Phoenix is right now we're on the same time as Western time zone. Well, they're actually on our time, right? They moved up. They right to jump into our time zone. So we share the same time zone right now with the Pacific time zone. So for this whole region right now, it's just after midnight. So in any case, I'm gonna jump out of here, man. Thank you guys for tuning in this whole time. I really appreciate everybody's support and participation. Great show, especially for being last minute. I don't know how often we can do something like this, but if we can, we'll jump on here and do it, man. Why not? You know what I'm saying? So thank you for the first Saturday night hangout with Joe D. I really appreciate it. You can email me, jodreviews@gmail.com. More than welcome to email me questions, comments, or any concerns or anything like that. I do make a podcast as well. Right now, it's only available on SoundCloud. I'm hoping to get the website going and get that into iTunes. Hopefully by this weekend. I tried a little bit this week. This Saturday, but I catch up on my sleep and I do all of that, and then I did have to do some real light editing really quick. So I got a little distracted. So I'm hoping maybe I can get to getting that podcast into iTunes so that more people can enjoy that as well. But there is one on SoundCloud. I'm Joe D Reviews on SoundCloud. You're more than welcome to check that out as well. Okay, guys, we'll see you, man. Peace out. Be safe, man. We'll see you.